Dame toda la noche, no nos queda mucho tiempo más. No quiero perder lo que queda. Seguimos siempre la pasión y confiamos solo en el amor. Yeah. No quiero perder lo que queda. Y más allá, a través de la gran oscuridad, hasta que me convierta en rayos. Y más allá, a través de la gran oscuridad. Y más convierta en rayos. Y más allá, a través de la gran oscuridad. Y más crecemos en número, en solo un trueno ves horizontes. Seremos miles. Y más allá, a través de la gran oscuridad, hasta que me convierta en rayos. Y más allá, a través de la gran oscuridad.
just follow your trail, and I'm losing your mind, and I'm losing your head. Let me escape from this love, cause I'm a prisoner. I just want to look my way and never back to you. I'm not above, but let me be myself. I'm not above, let me be myself. Let me be myself. Let me be myself. I'm not above,
toda la noche, no nos queda mucho tiempo más.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport for the start of the Pro Series tonight. We are here live at Nurburing for rounds 1 and 2 of the season, and what a cracking night. Driver lineup as well we've got in store with some new drivers, new cars, new teams, but ultimately the current Constructors Champions are still together. I'm Matthew Duffin, and I'm joined in the commentary box by Kelly Davis. Kelly, how are you?
I'm very well, Matt. Very well. It's lovely to be back on commentating quite so soon. Back with my my good friend Matt. Me and Matt have been friends now for 3-4 days.
3 days, yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
Yep.
Good bit of banter the other day over at Motive Racing. If you didn't check that one out, go and check out the Tier 1 Renault Clio race over there, because that was absolute brilliant commentary and cracking racing to go with it as well. Just going to give you a run through of the grid from top to bottom. We have just lost a driver. Hopefully they can get back in before the end of the session. So at the top of the leaderboard at the moment, we've got Welshie currently sat in the pits. Currently now a part of DW Racing, as you can see in the Acora for DW Racing as well. So let's see what he can do. We then got Keegs, son of Welsh, obviously staying in this championship. Lost his teammate Mazda, but still a part of Ironbury Racing in the Ironbury Racing A team. Obviously they're running 3 teams this year. This year in the Lamborghini, not the BMW. Third up, we've got Emo Guy, a regular here last season, but this year a change of car. Class of 97 is the team. You'll find out his teammate in a moment, but in the number 666 red and black Lamborghini livery, nice looking car. Deeksen P4 got promoted from the Pro-Am last season into the Pro Part DW Racing in the Acora with Welshie. Fury lines up in 5th, a regular here last season as well, and over at Motive with Emo Guy and a few others. He's in the Ferrari this season as part of FU Racing, and they see his teammate as well just in front. Phil, though, in 6th place. He stays in the same Lamborghini in the same colours, the number 25, the black and orange Lamborghini, as part of Run Flat Racing. Couldn't quite win the Constructors last year, came runners-up. Can they get on that top step this season? Andy then making his debut on the channel, out the commentary box and onto the track, the other part of Class of 97 in the yellow and black Lamborghini, number 77, that car. Andy then making his debut here at Simplay on track. Let's see what he can do. This one I'm very excited about. You saw him on track last year at the back end of the season. He couldn't qualify or score points. G, the only G, Forever Forward Racing, replacing Kieran Argent in the Pro Series this year, teaming up with Mr. Sandbag's Peaceful Explosion himself. What can him in that Mercedes AMG do? Big Boy Brazier, the current Pro-Am champion, making that step up after winning the second division championship last season in that Lamborghini, teaming up with Keegs in Iron Brew Racing. Little Leach comes up next, and he is one half of the Constructors Champions in his Porsche. Same livery, Leach Motorsport. Can they get on that top step of the Constructors once again? AH is with us as well. Not in the BMW, and this time he's got a teammate, Shake and Bake Motorsport, probably the greatest name on the grid this season, in the Porsche. Sooty Apex Pro runner-up is in Run Flat Racing as well. Same colours for him. The master of the Sooty Send It, or the Sooty Safety as we saw last season. What can this man do this year? Peaceful Explosion comes next. Different livery, same car, same team, as we've just lost another driver. That's not what we want to see early doors. He's in the Forever Forward Racing car still, just a different livery for him in his Mercedes AMG. We've next got Unorthodox, Dan Davis' son, the second half of FU Racing, Fury Unorthodox Racing, in his 48 Ferrari. What can this man do? A lot of hype around him early doors this season. He looks like he could be a regular podium visitor this season, I reckon. Took his first win here before he'd even won over at Motive last year, so hopefully a few more to come this season. And then the Pro Champion, car number 143, Gary 131, won his title last season in great style, won it on an ironing board if you can't remember. Didn't win it on his normal sim rig. Internet problems that day meant that he had to go to his brother's house and use an ironing board, and that's how he won his title. We have lost 2 drivers. I can't quite see who we've Welshie I can't see on that list, and I can't remember the other driver who we have lost. D Biggs is not with us yet neither. Hopefully them 2 guys can get back in and we can get going once again with them 2. 15 minutes left of qualifying. We've just seen some early lap times in. What car strikes you as the better car for this one then in the GT3s, Kelly?
Well, I mean, I've driven a few of these, and when I first got into Project Cars 2, I was a fan of the Ferrari, the 488, which Dan and Unorthodox and Fury are driving. I think it's a good choice for a stable car for the whole season. My passion is what we're watching, the Porsche GT3. I kind of quite fancy one of them myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the real world, I might be a little bit short on money to own one, but lovely car, and that's the one I would like. But if I was driving, I think I would drive in the Ferrari. I believe some of the cars, different tracks suit different cars on this one. I believe the Merc can be a bit of a handful in certain places, and the Lambo can be just the same, really. So strengths and weaknesses. So yeah, it's the season will tell.
The season will tell. I take it you're not a fan of the Acura. It's pretty much just a Honda. But obviously with the American...
are we starting early, are we, Matt? Are we starting early on the whole Honda thing?
Hey, I just thought I'd get one out there early doors.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, I've thought about the whole Honda thing for the last few days, and you know what? My dislike for Honda is unjustified. I mean, to be fair, the petrol lawnmower that I had was the best thing I ever had. You know, and I mean, Honda can make a lawnmower, can't they? Let's face it. They make great lawnmowers.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, we've got a good grid on the field. We've got a good field out there at the moment. Dominic Biggs having a few problems trying to get back in. Just trying to speak with him now.
Shall I chat a little bit about the track then, Matt? While
give us some tips on the give us some of the tips of the tracks while I just try and sort Dominic Biggs out.
Well, obviously we're here at the Nurburing, which is current GP track. 2020 saw the return of the Nurburing after about 7 years or so. So I believe. And I'd just like to say, people are going to start to get used to my commentating. Don't take all my facts as gospel. Some of them are just from memory, and some of them are Wikipedia. You know, so don't always take it as gospel. But the Nurburing, 150,000 capacity. This venue, plenty of money spent here in over the years to make this a top class facility. Of course, it's part of the bigger Nordschleifer track, which is legendary. To anybody who knows anything about motorsport, then the Nordschleifer is absolutely legendary, and for me it's on my bucket list. I want to drive down in my Volkswagen van and put a lap round the Nordschleifer, and one day hopefully we'll do that. You know, the Nordschleifer being, oh Christ, how long is it? It's super long, isn't it?
15 odd mile or something, isn't it?
Yeah. 15 odd. Sorry, as I just then scroll back through Wikipedia, it's 12.9 miles.
12.9 miles.
154 turns on the Nordschleifer. Let's not talk too much about that because that's not the track we're racing on. We are racing on the GP loop, which is, as I said, the current Formula One variation of the track. Which is a more modest size, as he just scrolls back up his Wikipedia, at 3.1 miles, 15 turns. Lap record Max Verstappen last year, yes, 2020, with a 1:28.1. As you can see the difference, Formula One to where we are at the moment, with Andy setting the pace with a 1:55.6. So you can see a Formula One car does get around here a little bit quicker. But no less gracefully as these cars, you know. But yeah, that's Nuremberg really. I'm trying to find some fun facts, but to be fair, I haven't been home long, so I haven't had a chance to do research like I did before. But
brilliant.
We'll get back into more facts about the track a bit later on.
Indeed we will. Andy setting the current pace at the moment as we see the only G currently P2 at the minute, 4/10 off the back of Andy then. Peaceful Explosion, his teammate, was just about to set a lap. He's gone up to P5 as Peaceful Explosion, so a good time from him. So interesting to see what they can do. Current pro champion Gary 1.5 seconds off the pace, just behind Big Boy Brazier, who's 3 temps, but there's still 10 minutes left to qualifying, so there could still be time at the moment. for them to sort out their times. Maybe tweak the downforce as well, just maybe play with some last little bits.
The weather that we're experiencing for this session is as lifelike as today. Yes, yep. I'm saying
the weather is what the forecast was from today. So the forecast that was set for 12 p.m, 1 p.m, 2 p.m, and 3 p.m. is what the weather will be. Obviously, I'm not going to give anything away, but that will be the weather for tonight's race. Hopefully, you guys will be entertained in what we see. Obviously, I know. I've informed Kelly as well, so we both know the current weather situation, but that may not be the case as we go forward in the night. The drivers will not know anything about what weather they have.
So that should make for some interesting scenarios a bit later on. I brought my woolly hat and gloves just in case.
Last season we did I did a random draw for the weather and picked the weather for each circuit, and that was kind of how we did the weather last season. This year I've kind of gone, do you know what, let's go off of the live weather and see what the live weather's going to do, and see where we go from there, see how that works. Delta B2Z in the chat, Honda also make a good whacker plates as well as a lawnmower, by the way. There we go.
To be fair, they make a cracking generator as well. Honestly, we had a generator when me and Dan used to BMX race. We had a generator at our local club. Every time you pull the cord, straight away, reliable as they come. Good old Honda. It's just when they get to that VTEC rubbish that it all goes wrong, doesn't it?
Well, let's not get on about the VTEC Hondas, because we was having a good laugh with Keegs, who's on circuit at the moment. Good laugh with Keegs the other day, with Keegs being the youngest driver in the league at 14 years of age. We was on about the VTEC baby toys, saying you don't know about VTEC Hondas. We was on about the VTEC baby toys with him, saying that's much more his age range. But as it was.
Similar sort of thing, isn't it, really? The VTEC toys and, the VTECs lined up at McDonald's.
I mean, no.
Getting their Happy Meals.
No. I mean, one thing I will say about the Honda, brilliant news today in the touring cars about Jade Edwards being announced in the BTC Knoll in third seat in that Honda Type R FK8. So great news that she's finally managed, obviously, last year without a drive, she got the one-off appearance at Silverstone, the Power Max Astra, and now she's got the chance to do a full season. So brilliant news for her. Brilliant for the sport to have a female driver at the top level of British motorsport as well. So absolutely superb stuff.
We do need more female drivers, and I think we should. I'm all keen to see more female drivers. Yeah. We need a Formula One. We need a world champion in some discipline from a female, don't we? The closest we ever got, Michelle Mouton back in 81, 82 was it? Maybe something like that. Just missed out on the World Rally Championship in a Audi Quattro in the Group B car, which was just mental. How anybody could hold on to it was unbelievable. But she had a real, a real talent, and we haven't had a real competitive lady since, and we need them. So
we do.
Girls, get involved. Do you know what I mean? We want to see it. And of course, we've got the W Series now as well, haven't we? Which is following Formula One, I believe, next year.
Yeah, on six or seven races, I do believe, this season as well. It's following Formula One. Do believe it's part of the British Grand Prix, which I look forward to go to this year. So should be fun to watch. Smithy in the chat says, "Who's your money on?" Commentators. It's hard to look past G, but you can never rule out the likes of Gary and Big Boy Brazier. Andy looks up there at the moment. It's a 10th off of G so far. AH has always been a shout as well last season in his BMW. What can he do in the Porsche? That's the question. Going to be close races for the few. Going to be a close race for a few. Smithy says. NJ Bethany says, "Come on, Gary." Massive Gary 131 fan. Herman's in the pits at the moment. Here you see his teammate though, Littleach, getting all slidey through turn 3. Cold tyres on a winter's midday track. That is not going to help. Well, it might help warm the rears up, I suppose. Sliding around like that.
Looked good.
It did look good. Looked very good. The fact he kept it out the wall as well, that looked even better. So we'll have to see what.
these cars are, sorry Matt, these cars are running damage, aren't they, as well?
Damage, yeah,
league?
full damage in this league. Mechanical failures, full damage. Full damage. The difference between the Pro and the Pro-Am is the Pro-Am run pit stop errors, so they could go into the pits and the engine fall out the bottom and the guys have to rebuild it. But these guys are running manual pit stops. These guys could easily get a grid penalty in qualifying. They could get a 10-second penalty or more when they make their pit stops. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens at the moment.
Yeah, which is good, and I'm glad I'm not footing the bill for any of these cars then, if they're going to, once they come the end of the race, when we've got smashed off bumpers and so on and so forth. So you always notice, I don't know if you follow the GT3 at touring cars, the Porsche Carrera Cup, they're all so much more. What's cautious. The word? Careful, polite. It's a very expensive car to damage, isn't it?
You watch the British GT as well. You don't see many shoves and bumps and scrapes in that one, do you? You see good, clean overtaking, sometimes a bit too clean. But that is GT. That is GT racing at the end of the day. You wouldn't want to foot the bill for one of these if you buried it in the wall. If you joined us last night, you would have seen that Mazda, with restrictions, Mazda should obviously be in the Pro, but due to work commitments, back end of last year, had to drop out, got back in the beginning of this year, came into the Pro-Am, but runs heavy air restrictions, meaning that his straight line speed is nowhere near, but somehow took 2 race wins in that one, was absolutely outstanding. And a good night for the Forever Forward B team, with Monkey Boy and Argent getting some good points. NJ as well had a good strong race at one stage. Here's Big Boy Brazier though at the moment, currently sat P3, 1.2 off. There's only 2 drivers within a tenth of each other, and then a big second of a gap back to Big Boy Brazier in P3. So can anybody get closer to Andy and G at this precise moment in time? We are still missing Welshie and D Biggs. Hopefully they can get back in before the start of race 1, otherwise they may miss this one. If you remember rightly, Welshie actually missed race 1 of last season, dropped the pad, and it press returned to race central. Hopefully he's not done the same this time, and that's why he can't get back in, that he keeps dropping his pad. And I know he'll kill me for saying that, but let's hope he can get back in before the start of this one, because it will be a real shame to not have him on the grid.
Absolutely, we want to have a full grid. I don't think we did. Did we actually come to a conclusion on predictions? If you had to pick somebody for the win,
if I had to pick somebody, I think it's hard to look past G, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's he's being a bit of a Lewis, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? It's he's seems to pull it out of the bag. When we commentated the other night on Renault Clio's, he was. Looked like it all went wrong for him, and then he just seems to pull it out the bag, doesn't he?
That's it, and especially if it stays dry. If the weather manages to hold up and stay dry, I think G's your man. If it gets wet, it's anybody's game. But we'll have to wait to see what the weather does at the moment. We are forecast a dry first race, not necessarily in the second race, but we'll have to wait to see what happens. But the weather forecast does suggest for a dry first race. We'll have to see if that is the case. So Big Boy Brazier's just gone back into the pits. We're on board Andy at the moment on the bonnet camera. As you can see, just coming through the first couple of corners there. A bit of a straight to stretch his legs in that Lamborghini as he brakes hard into the left-hander. Through there he comes nice and easy. Round turn 6.
Missed the apex by a country mile there, he did. Run a bit wide as he comes out in the exit. Tricky corner that one before, just to try and tuck it into the apex. You have to kind of brake late on this one as well. It's a little bit cambered, tuck it into the apex. As you start to get push on that power nice and hard, you want to go flat through this next section, come right out to the right hand side, tuck it into the apex, stay off the gravel just about.
Does it well there.
And any kind of slowdowns. I don't know if there's a slowdown there or not, to be fair. And as you come, this part here always gets me as well. I'm usually over there, over where the barrier is on the right-hand side. Another tricky corner. Always wanted a bit of runoff here. If you get into that gravel, you're in trouble. Long run now down to the last chicane. A very tricky last chicane. You look at it, uphill braking, so you can brake a little bit later than you think you can, although it turns really quickly. Easy to get on the curbs and bounce. Oh, look out. Nearly had a back end of a Lamborghini then. And then the last corner again is I'm going to use a Brundleism. Yeah, it's a bit of a hurry up and wait corner, the last one. You have to tuck it into the apex and then just wait and wait and wait until you get enough traction to be able to pull it out the other side of the corner.
You really do. Andy could not improve on his time there, so he stays at 10th off of G. Gary did improve though. He's gone up into P3 and he's still currently on a lap at the moment, coming up to the Schumacher S's now. Just a bit of a lift you heard there just before taking the Schumacher S's. He does that nicely. Uses a bit of the curb on the outside, unlike Andy. Smithy says, am I not backing Gary? No. Not backing Gary. And not for this race. The season's a different story, but not for this race. You can never obviously rule Gary out. Fantastic GT driver. And with what we saw Tuesday, where him and his brother had a coming together, let's hope they don't have a coming together in this one, because I'm sure that's the last thing they'll want, especially having to defend their Constructors' Championship. They'll want to just keep it clean and make sure everything runs as smoothly as possible. Otherwise, that is not going to be the case.
Yeah, let's hope so. They had a little bit of handbags in the, I think it was in the Clio, wasn't it? It was in the Clios, yeah. We had a little bit of handbags with those two when they bumped into each other. I'm sure they didn't mean to do it, so bit of a brotherly chat. I'm sure they've sorted it out.
Well, Gary crosses the line, no improvement from him. 80 seconds remaining in the sessions. People on their final laps. Emo Guy in the pit, so is Deeks, Sutty, Apex, Phil, Unorthodox, Andy, Angie. You saw there Gary had crossed the line to finish. Now, I'm not quite sure on Sutty's pace. Sorry, I just received a message. I'm not quite sure on Sutty's pace. Was the runner-up last season and qualified really strong all season last year. Not seeming to do that tonight. 3 seconds off the pace and just struggled to be up there where you'd normally expect to see him. Little Leach has just done a fantastic time up into P6, knocking Phil down to 10th. So good lap from Little Leach there, excuse me. But yeah, Sutty Apex, the man who took the most pole positions last season, not having the best to start.
No, has he changed his car for this year?
Nope, same car, same Lamborghini, same livery as well. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe everybody else have upped their game.
Well, yeah, maybe that. Yeah, there's many reasons, I suppose. Could be just having a bit of an off session, but we'll see. We'll see how he goes forward in the race. So who are we left with? We're watching AH at the moment.
AH on a lap.
Gary's still got one in, so he must. No, he's
crossed the line.
Now. Yeah, AH is on a lap.
AH is not going to get to complete this one.
No,
time up. Not able to complete this one then. Yeah. Is Sutty on the wheel, says Monkey Boy. That is a possibility. If he's on the wheel, that could be the case at the moment. G says yes, but it's only G who takes the first pole position of the season here at Simplay Motorsport Pro category, with Andy alongside him and the Pro Champion in P3. Jamie Brazier will start 4th place with Unorthodox in 5th. Little Each 6th place at the very end. Peaceful Explosion in 7th. AH down in 8th. Fury's in 9th with Phil 10th. Sutty Apex 11th place. What can he do from there? Keegs down in 12th with Deeks 13th and Emo Guy 14th. Now I've got the return to race central button, so whoever has continue needs to press that one, because it's not letting me press it for some strange reason.
Okay.
So what is going off here? We've got 2 people kicked. Now it won't let me press to continue. I don't quite know what Project Cars is playing tonight, but it's not playing the games we want it to play. It's quite frustrating, that.
Yeah, let's hope you can work it out that end.
This is down to them guys to obviously press it for us. We can't do nothing here. What was you going to say there, Kelly?
No idea. It's gone, my friend. Long gone.
Gary says I have it, but not letting me do it either. I'm not sure what's happening.
Well, hopefully we can sort this out, because technical stuff is mighty boring, so we don't want to technicals.
It did this last night and took forever to just seem to continue. We seem to have it done
now.
We
seem to go.
Yeah, we seem to have it now, so it looks like it's been sorted. So while we wait for the drivers to ready up, we see there Mercedes, Lamborghini, Porsche, Lamborghini, Ferrari.
So we've got the only G is on pole from Andy. Gary 131.
Apologies.
That's right. Heard your phone ring. That must have been Sky F1 asking you to come and join them.
Yeah, that's it. Touring cars want me.
Yeah, I just turned them down. You're busy.
I am busy tonight, but they want me to just big up how good that Honda is. They said get Kelly along with you as long as you both big it up.
I tell you what, Team Dynamics won't be offering me a job anytime soon, will they?
No, definitely not. Or BTC.
No. Or anybody else with that rubbishy old Honda. Dear.
I tell you what, neither will Team Hard now they've changed from the VW.
No, there's not an awful lot of there's like a lot of Hondas and Fords and BMWs and
now,
other stuff. I'm not quite sure how it works. I don't know if they get a good deal on cars or what. But who buys an Affinity, really? Who buys one? You know,
I've never seen one on the road. If I'm going to be honest with you,
no, Toyota Aventus. Who wants one of them, really? Apologies to Toyota fans out there. Other rubbish cars are available.
Yeah. Like the VW.
Touche.
Kind of left yourself wide open for that one. We're just waiting for the drivers to get ready here before they go racing. Then they're just probably fine tweaking their last setups for the race, sorting the fuel out, pit strategies as well. They only have 2 minutes to do so I'm surprised we haven't got the green light at the moment. The drivers will be able to see who they're waiting on to ready up, and if they don't ready up, they'll miss race 1. Here we go. 14 drivers still on the grid, so that is the way that it has worked. And it's lights out and away we go then for race 1. And look at them all get away brilliantly here. G's not got the greatest to start, so he already has to cover off Andy. But Andy, Big Boy Brazy, is already alongside Gary as they head down towards turn 1. G under pressure from Andy, but has got him covered off nice and easy. Little each having a look. Gary's around the outside of Andy, and he's looking to challenge Big Boy, the Only G, and has done the Only G into turn 2.
He certainly has. That was a cracking good start from Gary. Went right round the outside in turn 1, tucked it back into the apex, and he's away. Lovely move by Gary, but can he hold on to it?
This is it. Can he hold on to it? This is why he's the pro champion. Excuse me. He doesn't do things by half. He has to do it dramatically, and it's a dramatic start from here. Andy pressuring G in the background you just saw there for P2 at the moment, and a quick flash of the lights there, I think, or was that just the glare of the camera on the lights? I'm not quite sure, but Andy really hassling the back of that Mercedes early doors in this first race. That Lamborghini looks like it's got incredible pace. Everybody looked like they got away relatively well. So it looks like we've not had any blunders. Yeah, it looks like we've not had any blunders on the first lap in the first couple of opening corners. And G now just starting to gap Andy and just pull on Gary a little bit there. But you just see the straight line speed. It has to backed out that one at the Schumacher S's. Not too sure. That was an Orthodox just getting in the gravel there at the Schumacher S's. But he got very, very wide as an Orthodox. He's clipped the wall as well. That could be serious suspension damage to the front of that car. And not the start on Orthodox wanted there. Just clipped the gravel and then off he went. So not the start he would have wanted. He's still trying to fight that Ferrari as Peaceful Explosion runs very, very wide. His teammate just behind Keegs in the other Ferrari. Apparently the only notice of difference in them Ferraris is there is a number on Fury's bonnet and not on Dan's. So we'll have to keep our eyes out on that over the course of the season. Fury having a look up the inside of Keegs, and Dan has lost out to Keegs and Peaceful Explosion here. In fact, he's had to cut the chicane as well, so not the start he'd have wanted at this early stage of the race.
Could if he's had a clout with the wall, he could well have suspension damage on that.
He really could.
And he's now going to have to nurse that problem all the way through, or certainly to the pit stops.
He really is. Two people I'm surprised are down the order. Sutty and Phil at the moment, 12th and 13th. Not the start of the race, although if Sutty's on the wheel, that could explain a lot. A long season to go, though. This is only round 1, and look at G already lap 2. Starting to now put the pressure on Gary. Where is G going to have a look at making a move? Long race to go, obviously, lap 2 of 16. So still plenty of laps in this. Gary didn't get the best of runs out that corner at the moment.
G got so much traction off the corner as he came through that off that corner, brought him right up back behind Gary, but Gary's covered him off, kept the place.
He has indeed, and he's managed to hold on to that one well, even though he got a pull out the corner. Oh, where has Andy
Andy's
gone?
gone backwards.
12, P12. He must have had a spin somewhere, but he's dropped right down the order. So is Emo Guy and Fury, actually 13th and 14th. Have them two. The teammates of last year had her coming together. Not quite sure, but it's not the start that these guys would have wanted. Andy was running P3 at one stage. He's now down the order. AH has gone quietly about his business up into 4th in the Porsche so far this season as well. Well, obviously, BMW driver last year, we saw how quick he was as well, but this year running in the Porsche for the first time.
Yes, indeed. And as we can see,